What's good? Today I'm back to another video. Today I'm going to be comparing the best two teams in the NBA right now, and that's the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, the Brooklyn Nets acquired James Harden last night in a big blockbuster trade, and the Lakers still have the best duo in the league right now in LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And in my opinion, this is going to be the NBA Finals matchup for 2021 NBA Finals, and it's going to be a very fun one to watch, and I can't wait to see what these two teams have to bring us, this season, and how the Nets do and all that. So today I'm going to be comparing and see who is better, who will win a finals matchup between these two. So let's get straight to the video. As you guys know, the Brooklyn Nets acquired James Harden yesterday, obviously, and it could possibly be one of the best trios ever, man. I'm not even lying. I think this team has a lot of potential to do a lot of good things. Obviously, their bench depth is not as good as it was a couple of weeks ago. Of course, they lost Kyrie, they lost Jerry Allen, they lost Taurean Prince, and they lost a lot of picks, but they still got some solid role players like Landry Shamet, Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot. They still have Spencer Dinwiddie, even though he's injured. When he comes back, he's going to be a very important player in that rotation. Of course, you still have Jeff Green and all the other guys that are there, to play their roles. And obviously, when we're talking about bench depth, that's the first thing I'm going to be talking about in this comparison. Bench depth, of course, you got to give that to the Los Angeles Lakers. In my opinion, they have the deepest team in the NBA when we're talking about depth. And that's because they have a very good bench. They have Dennis Schroeder, they have Kyle Kuzma, they have KCP, Alex Caruso, Montrezl Harrell, Marc Gasol, and they have a lot of depth, man. They have a lot of good depth, Markieff Morris as well. And they have a very solid supporting cast around LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And that's something that the Brooklyn Nets have to fix before they do try to compete for a championship, because I don't think they're going to do as good as people think they are if they don't improve their bench depth. And that's going to come in the buyout market, in the trade deadline. And that's going to come with time, man. I trust in Sean Marks, and we're going to see what happens. Obviously, bench depth, you got to give it to the Lakers. Chemistry, you also got to give it to the Lakers, mainly because the Nets still haven't played with James Harden. We still don't know how those things are going to go, but I think it's going to go well, man. But this Lakers team has been around together for a while. They still got, the same pieces as last year. And obviously, that's going to be a big factor in who's going to win the championship this year. And yeah, man, it's going to be a very good year to watch. And when we're talking about offensive talent, scoring-wise, you got to give that to the Brooklyn Nets, because you have the three best scorers, possibly the three best scorers in the league right now. Having James Harden, Kyrie, Kevin Durant, obviously the fit is questionable because there's only one ball in the basketball court. And all three of these guys are ball dominant. But Kevin Durant in Golden State, he's shown to play off the ball. Kyrie Irving has shown to play off the ball in Cleveland as well when LeBron was the point guard. And James Harden can also play off the ball, but he's primarily going to be the point guard in my opinion. I think Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant will have to sacrifice. I think Kyrie will have to play like a Chris Bosh type of role if the Nets do want to go far in the Eastern Conference and win an NBA championship. But yeah, man, scoring-wise, this team is for sure the best scoring team in the league, no doubt about it. But even though their scoring is really good, you gotta give something to the Lakers, and that's the defense. The Nets defense right now is their weakness. They don't have no rim protection. Like, they lost rim protection with Jerry Allen, and they lost a solid defense with Taurean Prince as well. And DeAndre Jordan, even though he's okay, he's there mainly because he's friends with Kevin Durant and Kyrie. He's not as good as he was back with the Clippers. He's still very slow. Even though he does catch, the alley-oops and all that, he has declined a lot on defense. And even though last night against the Knicks, of course the Knicks, he played good defense, and maybe that's a good sign. But we gotta see that against better teams, because I can defend the Knicks as well with my eyes closed. The Knicks are that bad too. But yeah, man. Defense, the Nets definitely have to improve their defense if they want to compete with the Lakers, because the Lakers, they have a lot of good defenders, obviously, like Caruso, KCP, AD. The Lakers are very deep defensive-wise, and of course, offensive-wise, it's the Brooklyn Nets. And when we're talking about more efficient team, I think obviously efficiency, I gotta give that to the Brooklyn Nets as well, because you have three of the most efficient scorers of all time. That's not even a question. You gotta give the Nets that they're gonna be efficient this year. A lot of good shots are going to be taken. I think a lot of points are going to be scored on this Brooklyn Nets team. And even if they allow a lot of points in their games, they're still going to make it up with their scoring, because, like I said, three of the best scorers in the league right now. Rebounding, you got to give it to the Lakers as well, because they have AD, they have Marc Gasol. Even though Montrezl Harrell is not that good of a defender and rebounder, he still hustles. And like I said, the Nets have to fix that big man situation because they lost Jared Allen, and DeAndre Jordan is not as good as he was on the Clippers days. Right now, let's talk about the best head coach in each team. I think obviously Frank Vogel is better coach than Steve Nash, and that's because Steve Nash is mainly he's a rookie right now as a coach. He's still learning how to coach, and Frank Vogel has been a coach forever. He coached the Indiana Pacers for like 5 years or 6. He's coaching the Lakers. They won a championship last year. He's shown that he's a very good coach, and even though his rotations sometimes are very iffy, he's still a good coach, man. He's a championship type level coach. And Steve Nash, he's capable of being that type of coach, but he still needs time because he's still learning how to adjust his rotations and all that. And the Nets are still adding pieces, man. It's gonna be hard to adjust your system when you're still getting new players, man. And that's something that the Nets have to figure out. Their chemistry has to click if they want to beat the Lakers, because even they're getting a lot of new pieces and a lot of new faces in the franchise, and all their egos have, they have to put that to the side. They have to focus on one thing, and that's the championship. And now let's talk about the best duo, of course. And the Nets pretty much have a trio right now with Kyrie, Harden, and Durant, but for the sake of this, for the Lakers duo, that is LeBron, Jason, and Anthony Davis, I'm just going to choose 2 guys from the Brooklyn Nets trio. And I'm just going to choose Kevin Durant and James Harden. And we're going to compare him with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, man. Of course, LeBron James and Anthony Davis are, they've been together for 1 year. This is about to be their 2nd year together, and we haven't seen James Harden and Kevin Durant play yet, but I think these 2 duos are gonna be very, very good, man. It's gonna be tough to see who's gonna guard each other, to be honest, because I don't think anyone in the league can stop Kevin Durant, man. His mid-range shot is that good, and James Harden as well, man. Best scorer, one of the best scorers in the league, maybe the best scorer all time. You can debate that with Kevin Durant as well, man. This is the scary thing about this, because when we're talking about best scorers of all time, James Harden and Kevin Durant are always in that list. We're always in that talk and discussions when we're talking about the best scorers, and they're in the same team right now, which is crazy, man. It's gonna be tough to stop this team, but if they're cold, man, and you have to rely on their bench depth, that's what I think the Lakers could win. If Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and Harden are struggling, that's why, the Lakers could pull it through because of their depth. And overall, their starting lineup, I think, is a little bit better than the Brooklyn Nets. And right now, best duo, I gotta give it to LeBron and AD. But at the end of the season, I can change my mind and say James Harden and KD. LeBron James and Anthony Davis can hold their own, and I think they could outplay James Harden and Kevin Durant because of their experience already last year and because of their chemistry, like I said. And this duo is just one of the best of all time, to be honest. Even though maybe talent-wise, you're probably gonna see the Brooklyn Nets. Maybe that's true, but right now we're talking about chemistry and who fits better with each other. I gotta give it to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. That's pretty much the comparison. Obviously, depth-wise, I gotta give that to the Lakers. Scoring-wise, I gotta give that to the Nets. And defensive-wise, I gotta give that to the Lakers. Same with the rebounding, and that's because of the big man situation of the Nets. But I think they're gonna figure it out. They have a lot of good players. They can sign the buyout market, like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. They can sign Hassan Whiteside. They have a lot of good choices to choose. And yeah, man, obviously head coaching, you gotta give that to the Lakers. And of course, when we're talking about which team is better overall, man, this is the last of the last. This is the best overall team when we compare all of those factors. If I have to choose who's gonna win this matchup, I gotta give it to the Lakers, and the Lakers might win in 6 or 7 games, but that's if the Brooklyn Nets do disappoint. So yeah, man, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you think the Brooklyn Nets are better than the Lakers, or do you think the Lakers are better than the Brooklyn Nets? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for new, and click the bell to get notified on my official videos. I hope you have a great day. Peace out.